gonna start sitting.
Okay. And I don't need my shoes, right?
No.
Okay.
Couple warm-up stretches.
Okay.
We're gonna start with a new chair stretch for the hip flexors. I'm gonna turn my body a little bit and stretch one foot back. And I'm gonna work on trying to stretch the hip that's reaching back. So if I keep my knee pretty bent, it's not as big of a stretch. If I push it straight, it'll start stretching the front of that hip. Just gonna hold it and then release it. And then reach back with that foot, push it straight, hold it, chest stays up. This does stretch your hip into extension, and your back is gonna extend a little bit too, so just be mindful of that. And release that knee, and push it straight again. Chest is up. Hip is stretching backwards. You should feel it in the front of the leg you're pushing back with. The straighter the knee, the stronger the stretch. And I'm going to turn opposite way.
No, I'm just on the side of my chair. Does this
That's
look good?
fine. That looks great.
Okay.
Now I'm going to stretch this one back straight. Stretching the front of the hip flexor. Yeah, that looks really good. Chest stays high. I should feel a stretch in the front here. If I'm feeling too much of a pressure or discomfort here, then I need to back off a little bit and maybe tighten the abs a little bit as I push. If I tighten here a little bit and then I stretch, then it's even more exaggerated here. So that's just a body awareness thing, knowing how much extension is okay for your back. Kind of tightening here can restrict that extension for you. And release. And again, pushing back. Stretching the front of this hip. And release. And again, pushing back, stretching the front of this hip. And release. Stretch number 2, just a little bit of a shoulder roll. Up and pinch them together in the back and down. Emphasis on the down. The up is easy, the down is a little more effort because we tend to always pull up and not push down enough. Gentle on the up, push them down in the back. One more. Gentle neck stretch. I'm going to tip my ear towards my shoulder. I'm going to put my fingertips on the chair here somewhere to loosely hold the chair. And I'm going to tip to my left. And as I do that, I'm feeling stretching all up in here. Should feel like a stretch on my right side of the neck going towards the shoulder. Should not hurt in the neck itself. And release. And tip the ear down and tip the body and hold. Deep breath before you start. Deep breath. Back up tall. Switch sides. I'm going to tip my opposite ear down. Before I tip my body, hold that stationary, then tip my body. Should feel a stretch on my left side from almost from my ear all the way down to the tip of my shoulder. Should not feel pain in the neck itself or on my right side at all. And release. And again, tipping the ear first, then tipping the body. And release. Good. All right, now we're going to move into our circuits. So, I'm going to use the easy one. This is going to be 2 movements with the band. The first movement is just going to be arms are straight in front and we're pulling apart. So this, I would say medium to easy or easy to medium for this pull apart. Arms stay straight. The second movement is going to be our bow and arrow this way. This might be on the easy side for the bow and arrow. You might be able to do a medium, but your choice. Okay, then the third one is going to be our sit to stand. So we're just coming from here to here. Now for sit to stand, if just getting up is too easy, then you can come up halfway, go down halfway, up halfway, down halfway, and that makes it a little bit harder. So you decide. And we go. First movement, first round, pull aparts from the front. And we go, 30 seconds. Strengthens the back of the shoulder. Helps keep your posture nice and tall. And rest. Second movement's going to be our bow and arrow. I have it set for 15-second rest, I think. Point and shoot. On the pulling back hand, it should feel like that shoulder blade is pulling back, down and back. It's okay if your body turns a little bit. That's part of the motion. Front arm stays straight, back arm bends and straightens. Okay. Resting the arms, yes, 15 seconds rest. Moving into our sit to stand. And we're up. Should feel some burning in your quads and your glutes by now. Good. Those look really good. All right, going back to pull aparts, straight in front. Move that, kick that away from you so you're even. And we're pulling apart. That was a trick question. And rest. Now I've got opposite hand, hand 2 on the bow and arrow. And we go. round, sit to stand, and we go. Thighs should be parallel, knees should be lined up over the toes. You guys look good. Back to pull aparts.
I'm trying to concentrate on keeping my shoulder low rather than my hand high. I think that's probably better.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, back to bow and arrow, arm 1. And we row. Third round, sit to stand. And we go. And rest. That should feel like pretty fatiguing in the, up in here, muscles in the quads, glutes. All right, here we go with pull aparts. You guys are perfect students. You're making adjustments as you go along, easier or harder. It's good. Bow and arrow, arm 2. Last round, sit to stand coming up. And we go. Got that in the legs, right? Yeah. Okay, circuit 2 is gonna be, we're gonna do a couple other leg things. The first one's gonna be the runner, which I'm gonna use blue. So this one's gonna be, you're trapping it under one foot and it's on the front of the foot of the other foot. And the motion is gonna be, I'm pulling up like this. My arms are just kind of naturally going like a runner. So foot comes up, knee comes up. Don't worry about the arms too much. If it seems confusing, it's just natural to me to go opposite comes up, but yep, good. Tight stomach before we start this one so you don't end up slouching or moving your trunk too much, just nice and tall, tight here. So it's really short, a short motion. Number 2 is gonna be, you're gonna slip the foot in the same band and we are bringing this leg out like this. So it's an abduction, tap, tap the other side, back to the middle. And keep tension on the band the whole time. So I'm tapping and coming back to the middle without coming back to the center where there's slack.
Is
Boom,
the
boom.
distance of the movement vital? Like, should I use a heavier band with shorter or a lighter band to get more travel?
Probably heavier or shorter
Okay.
for you, I would say. And number 3 is gonna be a bicep curl. So I can leave that one on my foot and then come into it like this. You could switch colors or you could just keep the same one you have. Or see how it goes and modify as you go along, just like you did. All right, so to start with,
With the bicep curl, are you using the band and the same arm, or the foot and the same arm, or opposite?
Opposite.
Thank you.
so,
Okay.
so just like when you're walking or running,
Yeah.
you always use that's the
Opposite.
natural motion is opposite.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just getting confused right and left right now, and I'm like, gosh, okay, I hope I can keep this straight.
Yeah.
There's mental work and physical
Yes,
work.
it is. And it is. Okay. Trying to figure out which I'm starting with.
Okay. All right, so movement 1's runner, runner, leg 1, foot 1. Here we go. Keep it really small, because this is not that easy of a motion, especially when you're sitting low and you have longer legs.
Thank you.
Good, that looks perfect. Okay, I'm gonna slide my foot in. Get a little bit of tension on the band before I start. And I go abduction, tap, together, tap, together. When you tap the other side on the stretch, don't try to push into the ground. It's just sort of feather touch. This is gonna start burning in your butt. Side of the butt you're moving, of the foot that you're moving. Rest. All right, I'm gonna grab that band. Ready for my bicep curl. And we go. Looks good. gonna go my left foot runner. So I'm gonna trap it with my right. My left foot's gonna come up, and we go. Left foot, right hand. Little tension in the belly button muscle to make sure your trunk stays stationary. Perfect. Okay. Slide my foot in the loop. And abduction. Abduction tap. Helps to be on the very tip of the front of the chair. And rest. Here we go, bicep curl. Going back to foot one runner. Band should be on the front of the foot, but below the toes.
Round 7.
Here we go. Rest. Slide my foot in the loop. And abduction tap on the first leg.
Round 8.
And we go.
Rest.
Bicep curl, arm one. Common mistake with the bicep curl is that people tend to, I'll show you what people do. You guys are both not doing it, but common mistake is this, and the wrist is coming like this, and then that's not good on the wrist and also not getting into the muscle. So locking that wrist in.
Rest.
Runner foot two.
Round 10.
And we run. Thank you, yep, that's your package right there by your foot, yep. Okay, runner, okay, abduction.
Round
And we go, abduction tap, stomach
This
is
is back to
tight.
the first foot, right?
This
No,
is
this
foot
would be the
two,
second.
foot two. This is Casey, you guys, this is Dr.
Hi.
Casey.
Hi, Casey.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
She's my right-hand lady, right-hand doc.
rest.
Okay. Got bicep curl, lefty. Arm two.
Last round.
And we go. Oh, they have perfect form.
It's great.
I
I was
know.
wondering why you're not using a heavier band.
Did you guys hear her? Why am I not using a heavier band, she says.
Well done.
She has to act like the general public.
I have to act like it's easy. I have
was
to act like it's so easy.
You're not breaking a sweat. Let's go.
No, not
I'm
yet.
just kidding.
Well,
I'll see you later.
all right, bye.
Yeah.
All right.
Eat your flowers.
Thank you. All right, so now we're gonna get rid of the chairs.
I think I owe you a mat that ripped this one.
That belongs to here.
I didn't realize it was stuck to the floor.
So no worries.
You're not the first one, I've done it a bunch of times. Okay, so now we are gonna start this round in 4 points. So this is gonna be, we're gonna be starting in this position. This first movement in this series is not a strengthening thing, this is a little bit more of a range of motion thing. So we're gonna do like a cat-cow, but what I want you to do is pay attention to where your hands are beneath your shoulders and your toes. I want you to curl your toes under your feet, if you can, and I want you to find a straight long position before you start. And then what we're trying to do is curl under and round our body, and then kind of reverse the round and come up. But while we're doing this, I want you to pay attention to where you feel this motion. So on the rounding part, I want you to focus on it coming from your butt and your pelvis, kind of rounding from here. And then on the arching part, or the unrounding part, I want you to try to get it from more like your upper back, from here, so that you're not overarching your low back, and you're trying to get a little bit of motion from your upper back, okay? So I don't want you to strain your head or neck too much. Head and neck kind of is just going along for the ride. So I want you to get a little bit of roundness from low, and then a little bit of arch from high in the upper back behind the shoulder blades. So it's just gonna kind of look small like that. So cat-cow, slow and controlled, like just a stretching action. Movement number 2, you're gonna spread your knees apart a little bit. Then I'm gonna center one of my hands in the middle. One hand is gonna come up here, fingertips behind my neck, and I'm gonna push into the ground and try to lift my elbow up this way. This way. So this is strengthening the muscles in the back of the upper back, the postural muscles, and opening the armpit and the shoulder. And the third movement is gonna be some version of a plank that you're comfortable with. So it could be coming down, shifting forward, coming on the elbows, keeping the weight on the knees, and holding the stomach tight, and we're just holding. It could be that plank, or it could be doing a full position plank where you put your foot out, anchor it into the ground, put the other foot out, hold, like that. So, your choice, you either come down, stay on the knees and elbows, it's a little bit easier, or the full position. All right, ready? So movement number 1, gentle cat-cow.
Let's go.
I'm just rounding from low, kind of gently stretching that low back, then unrounding, and trying to get some extension in my upper back or thoracic area.
Rest.
Okay, now I'm gonna spread my knees apart a little bit. One hand gets centered, one hand comes up by my ear.
Round 2.
And I'm trying to open my chest. And push into the ground at the same time.
Rest.
Resting for these might be good up here because the arms are gonna get tired. Okay, now I'm gonna move into my plank. I'm gonna come down to the elbows and I'm just gonna shift my body weight forward and flatten out my hips. Everything else stays straight. I'm pulling my belly button up and in to tighten my lower abdominal muscles. And I'm holding. Come out of the position if you need to,
Rest.
and rest. Yeah, I can tell I'm resting in this position.
Was that only 15 seconds, that whole plank?
No, that was 30. Oh, whoops.
Round 4.
No, that was right. That was right.
All right.
So now we're back to cat-cow. Gentle round. Gentle arch. Trying to get that unrounding or that opening in the upper back and the chest.
Are you raising your catapult's scapula during the extension?
Uh,
Or are you just pushing up in the shoulders?
are you calling this extension?
Yes, the shoulder extension.
The shoulder blades do come down, yeah.
Okay.
Round 5.
Oh, elbow, okay, so knees are apart. Hand is at the ear. This is strengthening on the arm that's weight bearing has to work hard, as well as the arm that's stretching.
Round 6.
And plank. Always in a plank, you should feel like you are not arching your low back. You should feel like your stomach is tight enough to protect your back position.
Rest. Round 7.
Gentle cat-cow. rotation, arm 1.
Rest.
Plank is coming up.
Round 9.
Wow, you guys are good. Challenging yourselves.
Rest.
You sort of set the minimum expectation. pretty good.
Well, you're not doing the minimum, you're doing the harder one. We're rotating arm 2.
Rest.
Did I go out of order?
I don't think so. We're on the last plank, right?
Yeah.
Round 11.
I think I skipped one.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. We'll go with the plank. We'll end with a cat-cow.
Rest.
Is that the gal who's gonna do January?
No. I've got an army.
Last round.
Oh,
Not quite, but. All right, last cat-cow.
Well done.
There we go. Okay. Last circuit, this one's gonna be on our side. So the side is gonna be, this whole circuit, I think I can leave my band on my legs. So I'm gonna leave my band here. I don't really need to move it, kind of move it, but we don't need to switch it too much. The first movement is gonna be some version of a side plank. I'm gonna do this version with the knees stacked on top of each other, like this. So this is the easiest version. To make it harder, you can lift this leg up and hold like that. Okay, so that's, and if you're, depending on your comfort level, if this feels easy, we can do what I call hip dips, where I'm just letting my hip drop and lifting it up again. Drop and up, hip dip. So that's modified side plank. Okay, then from there, I'm gonna come down in this position and I'm gonna do some version of a clam. So all I'm doing is pulling my knees up a little bit towards me, my ankles stay together, and I'm lifting the knee. As I'm doing that, let your shoulder rest down. As you're doing that, I should feel the muscle in my hip here working. If I'm turning my whole body, I'm not gonna get that muscle to work. I need to make the motion small enough that I'm not really rotating my pelvis back. It's just a little tiny hip movement, and I should feel it here. So that's sideline clam. And then from there, we're gonna go straight to sideline, it's abduction it's called, but sideline leg lift. So from here, I'm gonna just roll it down, and I'm gonna be like this. I'm gonna roll my butt forward, stretch my leg down towards the wall down there, then lift up like this. So then it'll be like switching sides, but I'm just gonna slide the band up and down.
First one, side plank.
First one is side plank. And we go. You should be able to visualize a straight line between nose, sternum, belly button, knees, between the knees. So everything is straight. If it's easy, you can do a hip dip. If not, just hold.
Rest.
Okay, now I'm flat. And knees are up a little bit. Band is below the kneecaps.
Round 2.
And we clam. We clam small because we don't want to roll our hips over. We want to just lift up enough to squeeze that muscle in the side of the butt. It's the glute medius muscle. Spine should be straight. You can sort of exaggerate the
Rest.
contracting the stomach muscles there too to make sure your spine stays straight. Bands going down towards my ankles.
Round 3.
Okay, hips are rolled forward, leg is stretched out towards the wall that your foot is facing, then I lift. Real small with this movement too, because I don't really want the pelvis to move much. I want to just focus on that butt muscle.
Rest.
All right, switch sides. And modified plank.
Round 4.
And we go.
Rest.
And come down flat for plank or for clam. Knees come up a little bit.
Round 5.
And we go. When my kids were little playing soccer, they had this coach. Every time the ball would change possession and they'd have to run to the other side of the field, he'd say, "And we go!" I just like, I don't know, I adopted that expression.
Rest.
Okay, stretch the top leg out. Band goes down towards the ankles. Bottom knee is bent a little bit. Pelvis is kind of rolled forward. Stomach is tight,
Round 6.
gently tight. Top leg lifts up. You should feel yourself, if you're positioned correctly, you should feel yourself have to squeeze the butt in order to move the leg.
Rest.
And rest. That's it. We switch.
Round 7.
Modified side plank. Position, if your elbow should be directly under the shoulder so that you're not straining the shoulder.
Rest.
Knees are bent up.
Round 8.
And we clam.
Rest.
Band goes down at the ankles, rolling my hip forward a little bit extra. Tight stomach, reaching my foot down towards the wall where my foot is facing, and lift.
Rest.
And we switch.
Round 10.
Modified plank.
Rest.
And rest, and we're down into clam position.
Round 11.
And we've got a tight stomach. We're clamming. Tension is on the band the whole time. Pelvis is staying stationary, not rolling backward.
Rest.
And stretching the leg out. Top leg is stretched out straight, reaching down towards the wall.
Last round.
And lift. Real small motion. Butt should feel tired by now.
Well done.
And rest. Good. We're gonna stay in this sideline position and go over a couple stretches from here.
Are your hip flexors at all burned? Like right now?
No,
Okay.
more here. So if you feel a lot in the front here,
No, it's all on the side,
here,
or in the bottom of my, side of my butt.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so those are hip abductors and
Okay.
extensors.
Yep.
Flexors are more in the front.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna review talk about a couple stretches from here. We're gonna tuck the knees up real high. And I'm gonna take my top arm, it's gonna be above my eyes, kind of above forehead even. And I'm gonna bring it back over and stretch backwards. As I do this, I wanna try to keep my knees stationary. So in other words, I don't wanna slide my whole body back so my knees come apart or slide up on each other. I wanna kinda lock my knees in together and come back, because that's what's gonna help me keep the stretch in the upper part of the back and protect the lower part of the back. So by keeping the knees pulled up and stuck together without moving, it helps keep the lower back stationary and makes sure that the force that we're doing for the stretch is in the more the upper half of the back, which is where most of us are stiffer. I might feel more stretching in my armpit or my chest too. That's okay. But you definitely want your hand above your forehead level.
Are we doing it now?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, this isn't a timed one. This is
Okay.
just, we're just kind of ending, that's how I've been doing it. Starting with some stretches and ending with some stretches. I'm just kind of pausing here, maybe a 10-second count. Or a couple of breaths if you prefer that. And then come out of it. Good. All right. I'm going to switch to the other side. Pulling my knees up. Bringing my hand up and over. Feeling where my knees are, looking where my knees are so they stay together. And only my upper back is stretching backward. Gravity's just helping you in this one. You don't have to try to make it go further than it wants to go. You're just letting gravity help you with this one. Last one for me. And rest. Okay, I'm going to turn on my back. Now we're going to lay flat. This is one of the most simplest, useful, functional stretches we can do. just laying down angel wings. Palms are up, back of the hand is on the floor, trying to slide the arms up, keep them on the ground fully, and try to inch them all the way up to the top where they're still sticking on the ground. Try to get my fingertips to touch, and my upper arms as close to my ears as I can, without letting the back come up off the ground. So back stays flat on the ground, arms and hands stay on the ground, and see how high you can come up. Everything stuck to the ground. If it hurts something in the shoulder, which it sometimes does, then you want to avoid that. But see how far you can get without hurting anything. Same thing at the top, hold it for maybe a couple of breaths. And rest. Okay, good. Hands at the sides. Couple of deep breaths in. Thank yourself for taking the time to do some focused exercise today.
Well, thank you.